Let's record our video. And so once again, hi Dan. happy to
Yeah.
happy to see you here in our webinar, Unlock Your Full Potential. And I'm very happy to have you here in this webinar. And I'm so happy because you will be visiting Vilnius, Lithuania next month. So it's a really, really good opportunity actually to meet you and to have opportunity to become part of this amazing breathing practitioner training program. So for those who don't know Dan, I would like to say a couple of words about him. So Dan Brule is the world expert and well-known pioneer in the field of breathwork and leader of the worldwide spiritual breathing movement. He served in the United States Navy as a medical deep sea dive during the Vietnam. He is the author of the amazing book, Just Breathe, that according to Tony Robbins, that was your former client, this book is the definitive breathwork handbook. And I really recommend for everyone this book because this book is for everyone who is breathing. And yeah, so Dan is a creator and teacher of Breath Mastery program that he will be sharing his teachings in Vilnius and Lithuania next month. As he did in more than 67 countries in the world. So yeah, you can check his program in his website, breathmastery.com, and then has a huge impact in the breathwork science and the breathwork art in the world with more than 53 years of experience. So we can call him a godfather of the breathwork. So I'm so excited to have you here in this webinar, Dan, and thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time.
Oh, my pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here. I was in Lithuania for the first time in 1990, and I've been going back and forth ever since. I love the country. I love the people, and I'm looking forward to being there in July. Yeah.
Yeah, it will be very soon. Yeah, so Dan, what I wanted to ask you, I met several of your students here in Lithuania. They are really professionals in their field. And when I ask from where they learned breath work in general, they say they learn from you. So that's why I'm so happy that you are coming in Lithuania to share your experience. And of course, since you taught breath work for more than 250,000 people, so it will be it will be strange that there are some people in Lithuania. And well, what I noticed from people that start to go to the breathwork sessions and either they become breathwork practitioners, they start to live more in their potential. So what is potential for me? I think human potential is unlimited in general, but who are taking out from potential from us? It's only us, nobody else taking our potential from us. Nobody comes to our home and say, give me your potential. No, it's only me who taking my potential from myself. So actually, my question would be how the breath work in general can unlock our full potential. And when I say breath work, I'm speaking about not unconscious movement that we are doing, inhaling, exhaling, because it's autonomic. I'm speaking about life in general, because for me, breath work is life. How we live, that's how we breathe. How we breathe, that's how we live. So how the breath work can unlock that our full potential.
Yeah, it's true that, we're breathing all the time. And so if that was enough, we would all be Buddhas. We would all be, enlightened beings. We'd all be infinitely expressing all of our ultimate potential. So what I found that there's a combination of things that are needed to really unlock the potential breath. And the first is consciousness. Call it even meditation. I think there's no way to unlock the power of the breath without developing meditative awareness, without this ability to be with the essence of the Buddha, which is witnessing, to be able to stand apart from our thoughts, from our feelings, from our body, from our experience, and become that observer from and you know so raising our consciousness, becoming more conscious, is like a key to unlocking that potential. And that means a daily practice of meditation, or developing meditative awareness, the witness, the observer, the impartial, objective witness in us. That we all have that capacity, but we're sort of tangled up in our experiences, and until we develop this capacity to stand back and stand apart from our experience and become the witness, that's the first step in unlocking the power and the potential of breath work. You can't use the part of your mind that you balance your checkbook with. You can't use your everyday consciousness if you're going to unlock greater capacities. We have some shift has to occur in our mindset, in our beliefs, in our thoughts, in our intentions, in our will. So all of that falls under this category of consciousness. It's really the first step. It's about waking up, becoming more aware, more conscious. So, and as it turns out, we can develop that consciousness by using the breath. We can use the breath to become more conscious, more mindful, more aware. And so that's one of the first practices that we teach is breath watching. If you want to unlock the power of the breath, you need to become more conscious of the breathing, moment to moment awareness of the breath and the details in the breathing. So the first practices are about developing that capacity. Like right now, anybody who's listening, you're already breathing. So how do you know you're breathing? What are the actual feelings and sensations? What are the movements? What's happening that you can observe that shows you you're breathing, right? So you could start at the tip of your nose and notice the sensations there as you breathe in and you breathe out. And there's another principle that's really important, and that is the principle of totality. You can't invest 30% or 50% of your attention. You have to devote 100% of your attention. And that's hard to do these days because most people, we think about this, we think about that. Some of our energy goes here, some of our energy goes there. And so until we can gather all of our awareness and put it on something, we can't unlock the potential. So right now I'm inviting people, put all of your attention into each breath and notice details. Look for little sensations that you never observed. For example, right at the tip of the nose. And notice the difference in the sensations when you breathe in and when you breathe out. And what are those sensations? You don't have to think about them, but just experience them. You're like a guard at a gate watching who comes and who goes. And that's all your job is. You don't have to think, just noticing, oh, somebody just came in, oh, somebody just came out. And so that's what you're noticing right at the tip of your nose, the breath coming in and the breath going out. And then take your awareness a little deeper, say deeper into your nose, into the bridge of your nose, and feel the sensations deeper into your nasal passages. So you're watching and feeling the breath from not just the tip of the nose, but now take your awareness deeper into your nasal passage and experience the breath from there. And then take your awareness up into your sinuses and your skull and watch and feel and observe your breath from the vantage point of your sinuses and your skull. And then come around to your throat and experience the breath as it passes through your throat, the sensations in your throat as the air comes and goes. So I call these touch points. And what you can do is you do a little meditation, tip of the nose, bridge of the nose, sinuses, throat. And you create a little wheel of breath and awareness. And try to feel the breath from each of those touch points. Tip of the nose, bridge of the nose, sinuses, skull, and throat. And you even create a little wheel of breath going around, touching those points. And then you allow your awareness to come to your collarbones, up in your upper chest, and notice the breath there. And you notice it in the form of movement. So you're monitoring the breath, you're observing the breath from these touch points in your nose, tip of the nose, skull, sinuses, throat, and also the top of the chest. And what we're doing is we're following the path that the breath takes when it comes into us. And then allow your attention to follow the breath deeper into your lungs, in the lower part of your lungs. And you can even put your hands on your sides, on your lower ribs. And when you breathe, you can feel your hands being opened side to side by your breath. And you could even press on your sides. So then when you breathe, you're sort of breathing against your pressure and causing that side to side expansion. And then you want to follow the breath all the way to the floor of your pelvis, to your lower belly, even into your hips and your lower back. And see if you can sense the movement of the breath down very low in the floor of the pelvis and your hips and your lower back and even your tailbone. And see if you can follow the breath all the way there. And so this is the beginning. This is developing breath awareness. You can even take it further and imagine sending the breath to every cell of your body, because that's where the breath is going, right? It goes to the lungs, then it gets into the blood, and then it's taken by the blood to every cell of your body. See if you can feel that. And if you can't feel it, imagine it. That when you breathe, your whole body is breathing. It's like every cell is a lung, and every cell expands and relaxes with every breath. So you give yourself the sense of full body breathing. And this introduces us to the next real principle, how to unlock the potential. And that is that we have to get in touch with the energy in the breath, not just the air, but the prana, the chi, the ki, the life force, the spirit, whatever you want to call it. There's an energy in the breath. So the outer breath is air, and the inner breath is energy, is spirit. And that's what we want to begin to sense and feel. And when you can make the connection of the breath, the energy in the breath, that's when you unlock all the potential, because now you're not just breathing air, you're breathing energy, you're breathing life force, you're breathing light. And that begins to unlock all of the power and the potential.
Yeah, that's amazing experience to witness our breathing. And it's what I noticed, that first of all, that breathing should be autonomous nervous system movement. But then when we start to take the breathing into our control, we understand that we can control our lives. And you know what, one of my favorite book by Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, he said, so between the stimulus and response that we're responding, there is a gap or a space. And in this space, there is your potential or your ability to choose. So to understand that we have this space, that's what the breathing gives to us, that we have the space to not react, but to stop and to understand that everything is coming from us. So yeah, that's
beautiful. That's perfect, because that the breath creates that space. So if something's on our mind, or we're feeling something in our body and we're stuck and we're going around, if we focus on our breathing, we take energy and awareness away from what's bothering us, and we put it on something very beautiful and natural. So the breath is the way to get into that space between something that happens and our reaction. That's how we start to get in touch with our power. But you just mentioned something that's a good example, because it connects to what are our beliefs and what is the conditioning and the programming, that we have. And that's a really important thing. We need to develop the skill of transforming our mindset, of identifying limiting and negative thoughts and beliefs, and don't hold on to them, don't carry them, don't let them control our potential or our awareness. You see, for the first few years of our life, we were given programs that limit who we are. And it's not until we're 3 or 4 years old that we begin to think for ourselves. But by then, we're already thinking with thoughts other people put in us. We're already using programming and conditioning that we got. So we have to go back to a pure kind of awareness. Before I knew anything, before I believed anything, before I had any traumas or shocks, before other people said, you must do this and you must be this way. If we can find our way back to a place before we received all this stuff, now we're in a good position to move forward with our full access to our potential. So breathwork means getting rid of some limiting beliefs and some negative thoughts. Oh, only the Buddha or Jesus or Moses or Krishna, those great people. But no, they were human like us, and they just developed their full capacity. And through the breath, we can achieve all the same high states and the extraordinary abilities that we believe, only the great saints or the masters or the gurus or the yogis or the great warriors or the mystics, yeah, they could experience all that stuff. But me, just little me, who am I? We have to get rid of some of that low self-esteem, you could call it, or negative or limiting thoughts. And that helps us to unlock the potential too. So breathwork is about, breathwork was invented by the yogis. Why? To regulate their mind. That's the original source and the reason for practicing breathwork, which you call pranayama, for example, in the East. It was to regulate their mind, because a still mind, the quality of a breath with someone who has a still mind is very different than the quality of the breath of somebody who's anxious and worried and thinking. That's reflected in the breathing. And so what's happening in our consciousness is disturbing our breath. And so by controlling our breath, we can start to change, calm, quiet, or enlighten the mind. So breath work is about mind work.
Yeah, and how is in general we can change our limited beliefs? Because since what is beliefs, what I noticed that people working as a coach, that people has many limited beliefs that I'm not good enough, or world that's scarce, I'm not able to do it, I'm too old, I'm not competent enough. And what is beliefs? It's actually the thought. What is thought? It's energy that's somewhere in our bodies. And with breathing, what we're doing in general, we are changing them with some different techniques, but how with breath work, we can just change it, because we're not born with those limited beliefs.
And people confuse a belief with reality. They confuse their thoughts with reality. And beliefs just feel so real. We just assume, I can't do it, or I'm not good enough. It seems like a real truth, like it's a reality. And so we have to work on that level of beliefs. And that's how we become the creator of our own life, right? We have to transform our beliefs. We have to let go of limited perceptions and limited thinking, and breathwork helps us do that. So just to dare to think of yourself as greater than you believe, that's a good start, right? And so yeah, that's breathwork. And fortunately, and here's a simple practice, or a powerful practice. How do we overcome these negative beliefs? And many times they're unconscious. And so we don't even know we have them, but they're controlling our reality. They're controlling our experience. They're limiting our experience. And so what we do is we use breath work to awaken body intelligence. We use breath work to awaken heart intelligence. So now we're not just in our head trying to make our way through life with just mind intelligence. Mind intelligence is very important. And, we use it for everything in everyday life. It's so important. But we need to awaken our heart intelligence and awaken our body intelligence to support our mind intelligence. And that's how we expand our consciousness, because we have the brain is the heart is a brain. There are neurons in the heart. There are neurons in the gut, in the intestines. So it's not just an expression. The heart is another brain. Our gut, our intestines are another brain. And most people haven't learned to turn those brains on and use them. So that's what we do with breath work. And so you can do that right now. You focus on your heart. You can even put your hands over your heart. And when you breathe into your heart. And imagine yourself as a little person inside your heart. You could push on the roof and push on the walls and push on the floor. With each breath, you're trying to open your heart with each breath, expand your heart. And that might not be the best way to say it, because the heart is open by nature. Openness is the essence of the heart. So what we need to do is we need to open around our heart, the rib cage, the structures, the muscles, create some space around the heart so the heart can express its openness. So you breathe into your heart space, top to bottom, front to back, side to side, and you use your imagination and use your intention and use visualization and use feeling to begin to literally breathe into your heart, using each breath to open and expand your heart space. And you can increase this result by focusing on heart-centered qualities, right? Love, appreciation, joy, compassion, gratitude. And if you start to generate those kinds of emotions, those feelings, those are heart-centered emotions, and you're going to awaken your heart. So we awaken our heart intelligence with the breath, physically breathing into the heart space, and by generating heart-centered emotions and thoughts and feelings: love, peace, joy, compassion, appreciation, gratitude. And with each breath, you're generating those energies. And now you're coming closer and closer to who you really are. These are natural qualities of human: love and peace and joy and compassion and strength and gratitude. Those are natural. They come with being alive. And if we're not consciously waking up those feelings, we're not going to be fully alive, because that's the essence of us. All of the qualities of the heart form the essence of who we really are. And the next thing you want to do is awaken body intelligence by getting the breath down into your lower belly, like you're pushing on your perineum with the inhale. And you're trying to bring all the breath low as you can, just like a stone dropping to the bottom of a bucket. You want the breath to go to the very bottom of your torso, of your body, your perineum, the floor of your pelvis, your tailbone, and get the breath down into that place and awaken your gut, so your belly pops out when you inhale, and your belly button travels towards your spine when you exhale, and exaggerate that movement. So you're filling up your belly like filling up a balloon, not your chest, but your belly. Like there's a balloon in your belly, and you fill it up with the inhale and your belly pops out. And then you empty that space. So you squeeze, you pull up on your perineum, you send your belly button towards your spine, and you squeeze everything in the belly so you're very, very empty. And then fill your belly up, and then empty your belly. And now you're awakening body intelligence. So there are 3 breathing spaces: a lower breathing space from your perineum to your belly button, a middle breathing space from your belly button to your nipple line, and an upper breathing space from your nipple line to your chin. And you want to make sure all 3 of those spaces are alive. It's the full yogic breath. You have to master the full yogic breath if you're going to unlock all the potential in breathing. And it's like filling up a glass with water. It fills from the bottom up. So if you practice breathing that way, the first part of the breath goes to the very bottom and it fills upwardly. First the lower space, and when it overflows into the middle space, and then finally the upper space fills up. Practice breathing that way, and you're going to begin to awaken the full power of the breath.
Yeah, this is amazing experience and amazing practice. Thank you for leading that. Actually, when we start to breathe, we take in control of our lives. What I notice, and that's how we change our limiting beliefs, because we mostly of our behavior, 90%, comes from our subconscious mind. So if we each day living the same pattern, so nothing's changed. But when we start to change our breathing, so our limiting beliefs start to go out. So we start to understand that we are controlling our lives. So I wanted just to also invite people if they have some questions to ask, because yeah, for sure, if you have any questions, please share. I have some questions that I will ask before, afterwards. So actually, how we become creator of our lives. It's very beautiful saying become creator of your life, but people saying, yes, I'm a creator of my life, but somehow my life, it's not the way I want that to be. And for me, the creator of my life comes a lot with responsibility. And responsibility, people don't like it because I don't want to be responsible for that. But actually, what is the breathwork path? Because when we start to become conscious of our breathing, when we start to become conscious of our life, we start to understand that nothing more but only us are responsible for our lives. Is the first step for me, for everyone, that we don't have anyone to blame. We can't blame anyone, our partner, the government, politics, the country. We can blame only ourselves for not knowing something, but also not blaming, but taking control of our life. This is the responsibility, and responsibility for me is the
Yeah, because people want things to change. You know, they want the world to change. They want the weather to change. They want other people to change. They want the government to change. But we have to be willing to change ourselves. And that's the thing that I notice about breath work, and that it's for people who really want to make inner changes. You know, you can make outer changes in the world, but we can try to control other people and control situations, but it's about inner work. And so breath work is for people who are willing and ready to do inner work. Don't try to change or fix the things around you. Go inside and start to really look. And what we find is we have habits. So what we need to do is change our habits of thinking, habits of feeling, behavioral habits. And you can't try to get rid of a habit any in the same way you can't try to get rid of a negative thought. You have to put another habit in its place. You have to replace it with a different thought. So don't try to get rid of negative thoughts. Begin to generate positive thoughts. Don't try to get rid of old habits. Start to create new habits. And then the old habits just get displaced and the old thoughts get displaced. So affirmations are really powerful. And declarations and power statements, you know, I am alive now, you know, I deserve love. You know, I am an unlimited being, right? Start to develop very powerful affirmations that start to shift our self-concept, you know, who we think we are, what's possible for ourselves. And so if you can, we have breathing habits, and those breathing habits are keeping certain habits of thinking in place. They're keeping certain emotional habits in place. And so you can't change your emotions or your mind until you learn to change your breathing. And so by changing our breathing habits, all the other levels of our being start to transform. So that's what we want to do, is we want to start to create new breathing habits and practice new breathing patterns so we can start to change the inner structures and reality and forms that run us and guide us and compel us. And you know, you see sometimes you just react. Well, you're reacting because of something unconscious. And so the breath is the bridge to that unconscious mind. With the breath, we can open up the unconscious and start to discover the negative and limiting thoughts that are hidden deep in our psyche, because those are the ones that control us the most. And the breath is such a powerful tool for bringing those up into consciousness so we can then change them. Because if we're not conscious of something, how can we change it? How can we work with it? So breath is meant to awaken all these unconscious negative or limiting beliefs that are deep inside. And it's not until we change those that we ourselves begin to change.
Mm. Yeah, I loved what you said about that we need to focus on what we want instead of what we don't want, and we need to change our habits. Don't want to get rid of something, but we need to change and start doing something that we want. So, because most of the time people know what they don't want, but when I ask, so what do you want? I say it's the most fearful question in human's life, what I want, because I need to take my responsibility then, because I'm responsible for what I want. If someone said to me what I want, it's better like this. So actually, yeah, to focus on what you want, it's actually very important. So focus on the breath in that sense. And I love how breathing encompass all aspects of our lives. The relationship, because relationship, it's one of the, actually everything is relationship with ourself, relationship with others. And when we start to breathe, we understand that we only can change ourselves. We can't change anyone in the world, only ourselves. And when we change ourselves, then other people,
The
some,
world changes.
yes,
Yeah.
what is happening? I start to change myself, and other changes. It's written in the scriptures. Everything what is inside, outside reflects that. So this is amazing how world is changing when we start to practicing breath work. What we will do when you will come in Lithuania, and we will start to practice. Yes.
You know,
So.
you said something really important. I just want to touch on it about doing what we want.
Mm.
It's really important to remember that when you were a small child, you spontaneously did what you wanted all the time. You wanted to get up, you got up. You wanted to make noise, you made noise. You wanted to cry, you cry. You wanted to laugh, you laughed. But people started to come in and judge you. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Oh, don't be like that. And so we sort of got disconnected from this natural wanting. And we learned not to trust what we naturally wanted because people made us feel guilty or they judged us or we made a mistake and people said, oh, you're a bad boy, you're a bad girl. And so then gradually we lost the trust of our own intuition, of our own spontaneous energy. And we need to wake that up again. And instead, what people are doing is what's right, what's wrong, what should I do, what should I not do, what I must do, what I must not do, and good and bad and right and wrong and us and them. And people are just stuck. It's like a binary computer and we're just stuck and we can't break through. We can't break free. So you said something really important, and that is when we do what we want, but most people have forgotten what they want because they were disconnected from it when they were a child. And so a lot of breath work is about inner child work. It's about, making peace and loving that inner child and reparenting ourselves. I mean, nobody had perfect parents. Everybody did the best they could. But I don't think too many of us, our parents were enlightened beings. And so we absorbed a lot of their negative beliefs and they instilled them in us and their fears and their limitations. Before we could do anything about it, we already took on all that stuff. And so we have to get under it all. And breath work is a very good way to get under all that stuff and start to make the deepest kind of changes.
Yeah, what is very interesting that people who come in this breathwork sessions, they say yes, they feel that they feel some kind of resentful, there's some anger against, for example, their parents, but they say, oh, but I can't feel that. I will not be good. I can't be anger against. But the very interesting thing that you also mentioned that when we were kids, we didn't have this rational brain. We had this unconscious mind that we just was feeling. So what we are doing during the breathwork sessions, we allow our child to feel. And later on, it doesn't mean that we are bad people, that we are anger against our parents. No, but we are helping ourselves to become better in the relationship. So everyone who come to the breathwork session, they start to become better in the relationship because they work with themselves, with their shadow works, with all those unprocessed emotions and feelings that I was feeling when I was 2, 3, 5 years old. And with rebirthing therapy, rebirthing breathwork, we can even go back in our birth moment, and we can say, as according to psychotherapist Grof, it's trauma. That everyone who born received the trauma. So it and how we go through that trauma, child, just breathe very fast. So we can, with breathing, we can go through every life experience. So that is very interesting, that we should allow ourselves to feel. And what is my question here? So how we can really listen to our body's wisdom and to connect with our body, because people nowadays they start to lose the connection with their bodies, because our energy, a lot of outside, I need to hustle, I need to grind, I need to do this and that and that. And then when my heart say, but you should do this, or you should follow your heart and go, for example, I don't know, in India for trip, I say, no, how can I even think about that? Because we start to not trust our gut, our instinct, because we don't believe our heart. So that's why also breath work, what it's doing, coming back to our body wisdom, that because our body brings a lot of wisdom. So could you please share, in your opinion, how we can connect to our body and listen to its signals and to become more
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. See, we were frightened out of our body as children, and actually, people actually pulled our attention out of our body. So, let's say a baby cries, and we don't know why they're crying. Maybe they're hungry. Maybe there's the transformation going on inside their body. Is confusing and frightening. And what do? We go la 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 la. Look at me. Look at this. La la la. And we pull their attention away from the internal world. And it works. We've like distracted them from what was happening inside of them, and they stop crying. And so we go, oh, so now every time my baby cries, I just have to make her look at me, look at this, la, 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 and take your attention out of yourself. And then we take that on as a habit. Whenever we try to solve a problem, we look outside. Whenever something uncomfortable is happening inside of us, we try to escape and avoid it. And so we need to gather all that attention that was pulled out of us and bring it back inside of us. And breath work is a way to do that. So imagine if you take a little puppy away from its mother, right? You have severed an energetic bond, and the mother's not happy and the little puppy is not happy, right? And that's why if you ever get a little puppy and you bring it home, it cries all night for like 3 or 4 nights because it's processing the separation from the mother, right? And so that happened to us also. And so if I have a friend, Barnett Bain, we're going to dive deep into this because it's connected to creativity. Why have we lost our creative potential? If you test a 3-year-old child, give them a creativity test. 95% of 3-year-old children are creative geniuses, literally. The average 3-year-old child is a creative genius. But if you test a college age person, 3% are geniuses. So what happened? What happened was these uncomfortable feelings that are happening in our body, we try to avoid them by escaping our body. But that's where creativity is born. Creativity isn't a head thing. Creativity is a feeling thing. It's an emotional thing. And when we were little babies, we were purely limbic. We were feeling beings. We were emotional beings. We weren't thinking beings. And so to awaken our original creativity, we have to get back into our body. And the only way to get back into our body is to breathe. But when we breathe, we wake up all the feelings that frightened us out of our body. And so we're kind of stuck. And then we need a method, a practice, a coach. We need something to help us to navigate that process to get back in touch with our original creativity. And there's a little test that you can do. And it's very activating. It can even be traumatizing. And so we're going to practice it just for a minute. And you can do it to whatever degree you want. But what we're going to do is you're going to breathe with a wide open mouth. In the first place, everybody knows, oh, nose breathing is good. Yes, I agree. And we'll talk about that, right? And you're going to breathe high up in your chest. We go, whoa, wait a minute. Good breathing is diaphragmatic breathing. Yes, that's true. Okay, right. But this is a technique. This is a process. And so I want you to experiment with it, right? And just see what you discover. And if you discover the very first feeling, that's enough to start your path and start to remove all the layers of pain and trauma and programming and beliefs that's going to lead you to your true, real self. So wide open eyes, big open mouth. Put your hands over here on your collarbones because you're going to be breathing high up in your chest. You're going to take big, deep breaths very fast with like a frightened, panic look on your face, like this. So start right now, one after another, big breaths. It's like you're scaring yourself. It's like you look like you're in a panic and you're breathing big, deep breaths very fast. Keep going, keep going, keep going, more powerful. Maybe already your throat is getting dry. Maybe you're getting dizzy. That's okay. It'll go away. Keep going. Keep going, keep going. Now, what is the strongest feeling in your body? Where is it? And I want you to close your eyes and breathe gently into that place. Bring love to that place. Bring relaxation to that feeling. Bring loving attention and bring a beautiful breathing quality, a smooth, like you're massaging yourself from the inside with the breath. So you find the first strongest feeling that's uncomfortable, that's icky, that is, and you treat it with loving kindness and a beautiful quality of breath. And under every feeling is another feeling. And gradually, you can start to peel away all the layers until you can breathe like this for as long as you want, as fast as you want, as deep as you want, and you just feel nice. You feel tingly, you feel alive, you feel energy, but you don't feel uncomfortable. That means you started to wash away all the feelings that are now stopping you unconsciously. You don't even notice when the feelings stop you because it's unconscious. So we use this chaotic breathing to bring to the surface the things that are constantly stopping us. We bring them into the light. We treat them with thoughts, with feelings, with breath, with affirmations, with love and support. And we start this process of healing ourselves by going deeper and deeper, layer by layer, until we get to our original trauma. The main, it's like a knot inside of everyone, deep inside. Everything else is relaxed, but deep inside there's a tight little knot. And when we find that one and we open to that, all of life pours into us. Joy, ecstasy, energy, aliveness. We can't be afraid of our own aliveness. Those uncomfortable feelings, they are feelings of aliveness. They may be distressing feelings of aliveness, but they're feelings of aliveness nonetheless. And so we have to learn how to open to these uncomfortable feelings of aliveness very gently. Sometimes people are ready for a big jump And okay, I love to be with people when they're ready to just, I want it all and I want it now. I don't want a slow, gradual process. I want it all. I love working with people like that. But it's also for those who desire and need a gentle, slow process, that's just as beautiful. It reminds me of people when they go to the beach. Some people, when they go to the beach, they just run, they just jump in and dive. Other people, oh, they get to the edge, they put their toes in, then they get up to their knees, and then they splash water, and pretty soon they're in the water. Two ways of going into the ocean, and we need to respect both of those ways when we are working with our own unique process.
This practice was amazing. It was first time I was doing this. Thank you for that. And actually, what I knew, if I will start to continue this practice, I will start to cry. And this is how amazing it is. Just by 30 seconds of breathing, it's allow myself to feel. And I know that this feeling, it's something that unlocking my what I'm feeling inside of my heart. So
And we don't want to breathe to make the feeling go away. We want to
Mhm.
breathe to be with the feeling and allow it, right? So that's, it can be tricky because if you have an uncomfortable feeling, oh, I don't like it, and you try to breathe to make it go away. No, 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 no. What you want to do is you want to learn to breathe to be with the feeling as it is. That's how you heal it, not by trying to make it go away, but by getting comfortable in the presence of the feeling. That's good breath work, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah, really good experience. And I notice when I start to breathe like this, and some people are noticing as well, when they start to breathe very fast, very deep, very, for example, rebirthing techniques. Some people say that, oh, you become hyperventilated, you become a lot of ventilated, and you receive the oxygen. And so maybe this kind of thing is harmful. So please dispel this myth that that breathing is harmful or something that we experience for ourselves. It can be
Yeah.
this kind of
Well, we don't want to confuse like breathing through your nose and breathing diaphragmatically. That should be your unconscious habit. That's the best way to breathe. But when you talk about a technique or an exercise, that's not the same as what is your habit, right? So, and the symptoms of hyperventilation, I can breathe as deep and as fast as I want, and I no longer trigger the symptoms of hyperventilation because part of those symptoms is our unconscious reaction to the feelings. It's what you talked about in Viktor Frankl, that without realizing, we say, oh, I breathe this way and it makes me feel this way. Whoa, 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 no, there's something missing in between there, right? So, yes, all the chemistry, carbon dioxide is a volatile acid. And so we're breathing oxygen and carbon dioxide. And so when you play with your breath, you can disturb the pH balance in your body. That's very real. But our body is only one part of us. Our chemistry is just one dimension of our being. We have other levels of our being that besides just our physical reality and our chemical reality, we have a spiritual reality. We have an emotional body. We have a mental body. We have an energetic body. We're spiritual beings. And so sometimes breathing patterns that temporarily disturb chemistry, they can unlock powerful eternal benefits. So it's a small price to pay. Temporary imbalance in your chemistry, okay, but for some permanent benefit that for the rest of your life, it's worth it. But you don't want to have habits that are constantly creating chemical imbalances. And we look at that in breath work also. We practice breathing practices and techniques that keep us in the best physiological state, that produce the best respiratory chemistry, right? Because our mind is affected by that, right? So a disturbed chemistry causes disturbed thoughts, and vice versa. Beautiful thoughts can balance chemistry. So it's a creative practice. And we shouldn't be afraid to experiment and explore our own energy, our own creativity, our own potential. And I have a model. We're going to go deep into it. We have a comfort zone, and then we have a discomfort zone. And most people and the body by itself tries to stay in its comfort zone. But if you stay in your comfort zone, you'll never grow. You have to get out of your comfort zone if you want to grow, if you want to heal, if you want to change. But you can't go too far out of your comfort zone into discomfort, because then your body will sabotage you, your mind will sabotage you. So we have to find a zone in between comfort and discomfort. And we call that the working zone. And so you get out to the edge of your comfort zone. Otherwise, you can't grow, but not so far out that your system will get in the way and block you. And that's an art, to find that sweet spot between comfort and discomfort and learn to breathe there. And then the comfort zone grows and grows and grows. And pretty soon you're comfortable with things you could never be comfortable with. And you're comfortable with things that no one else can be comfortable with. It's so empowering. And that's what we deserve, that experience of empowering ourselves.
Actually, you read my mind, because I just recently said that we need to expand our comfort zone, not to go out from comfort zone. Because some years ago, for me to speak in front of the huge audience, it was not comfort at all. But at the end, when I'm not starting to speak in a huge audience, I start to expand my comfort zone by speaking in the Toastmasters Club, where I practicing public speaking. So I expanding, because people, when you say to them, go out from your comfort zone, they thinking that you need to go in some kind of very bad conditions, and nobody wants to go out from their comfort zone. But if you expand your comfort zone, what you are doing with breathing, because it's some kind of not comforting, but I can handle that, and then I understand that I can expand, be with my feelings that I maybe 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Just recently in my previous session, person say 30 years I had this resentful, and I finally let that go. So 30 years I have this stuck emotion somewhere in my body. So finally, with going in that discomfort but expanding my comfort zone, I can allow myself to let go, which is the art of life, to let go. Dan,
Oh, that's the most important. Boy, you just hit on, I think, what is the most important part of breath work and healing and growth in general is the ability to let go. To let go physically, let go emotionally, let go, boy, that's it. Because unless you let go, you can't go further. And letting go is very scary. For the ego, letting go is death. And so it takes practice. And so what we do is we learn how to let go of the exhale. We learn how to let go of the breath. And so, and if you haven't learned how to let go of your breath, don't be surprised if you can't let go of fear or pain or anxiety or thoughts going around in your head. You haven't learned how to let go. So we develop this ability to let go, and we use the breath to master that ability to let go. And then we can let go of pain, fear, negative thoughts, programming. All the other stuff gets to be much easier to let go of once we master this energetic skill of letting go. That's a real key. Yep.
yes, and we have question from Paulus.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah, how to explain connection between conscious breathwork and our subconscious mind? How we can enter into that and touch our traumas, memories through breathwork?
Yeah. Well, that sigh of relief is a good place to start. when you take a sigh of relief, first you take an inhale that's twice as big as normal. So we open and expand. That's the first step. We need to open and expand, get out of our limitations, get out of our box, stretch beyond our beliefs and our limits, open and expand, and then relax and let go. It's a sigh of relief. It's not even a technique, but you turn it into a very powerful spiritual purification practice by doing it very consciously and by exaggerating it. So there's the first step. You already know what a sigh of relief is, so do it on purpose. Exaggerate it. Open and expand, side to side, front to back, top to bottom. Use little micro movements to open and soften your structures so as you're breathing in, the breath can penetrate your whole body. You're using your breath to open and expand, and then let go and relax and start that practice. And then what you do is you start to do that more continuously, one after the other, after the other, after the other. And then you're moving into a process of transformation, of awakening, of healing, and you start to release. Everything comes up to the surface to be released. And the breath, this powerful, it's the rebirthing technique. It's the rebirthing breath work, the most powerful breathing technique on the planet. I've been studying breathing for 50 years or more. I've tried every breathing exercise, pranayama, everything you can imagine. There is no more powerful breathing technique than rebirthing breath work when done really well. And so, and the start of it is a sigh of relief. And then the next ingredient is continuous breathing. So if you just continuously take one sigh of relief after the other, you're going to automatically, naturally move into a healing and awakening process. It's guaranteed. The only thing that stops it is if you stop breathing, or you go unconscious, or you create tension in your body, or you stop breathing, then you can interrupt the process. But as long as you stay conscious, as long as you keep relaxing, and as long as you keep the breath moving, you will enter into a natural, spontaneous healing and growth process, 100% guaranteed. And if it doesn't happen, then what you need is a coach to point out to you, oh, your jaw is tense. Oh, your forehead is tense. Oh, you're inhibiting your breathing. Or, oh, you're not relaxing your shoulders. And then the coach can kind of help you realize what you don't realize, and then that makes the process work better and smoother. You know, a good coach is priceless, and it can be just a friend can be a good coach, right? Nobody, when you were born, there was at least one other person there. So when you want to be reborn, it's nice to have company that can say, yeah, you can do it. Keep going. You got it. Go for it. That encouragement and that support, that's how you learned how to walk. That's how you learned how to ride a bicycle. That's how you learned everything. And so the same thing with breath work. Make use of a good coach. I just met you. This is the first time outside that we've actually talked and changed. And Lithuania is very lucky. You got a really good coach right there around you. So I'm happy to see you, happy to meet you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. Thank you so much. And yeah, I believe we can speak about this breathwork passion for hours.
Yes.
So what I want to present that we will be meeting Dan in the next month. So starting from July 26, 27, we will have our workshops where we will have breathing sessions, where we have the theories about ourselves, about the anatomy, about how we breathe, about come back, tap into our fullest potential. Also, we will have seminars on July 26, 27, August 2nd and 3rd. So these seminars will be shorter seminars. So I invite everyone to join. Either you want to go to workshops, either you want to join seminars. Also, we will have the masterclass on July 28th. So this masterclass full day program for people who wants to really increase their knowledge, to gain the more practice, and for coaches, for yoga teachers, for specialists in the medicines, for everyone actually. And for those who want to become breathwork practitioner, or as we call it, rebirthing therapist, so I invite into 1 week breathing practitioner training week for those who want to really start to dig deeper into breathwork techniques, into becoming master of your life, because we start to doing it from ourselves, from changing our breath, and to help other people. So I receive many questions. So for who is this program? I don't like to say for everyone, but in this place, it's actually fits into for everyone, actually, because if you are breathing, if you want to change something in your life, if you want to become your life creator, and really to not limit yourself that you can't do this, or it's too late, or I can't change my life because I did this and that. Really, this program is for you if you want just to become a master of your life. And then I don't know from where it's more better place to from who is better to learn than from Dan Brule, because he has experience and he bringing experience teachings in Lithuania. So if you have any questions, please contact me. I will be more than happy to answer you, to help you with the information, with the program, with the recommendations, and actually we will have the program that people from all over the world will join. We have people joining from even Europe. We have people joining from the West, from the East, we have people. So from Asia, we have people to joining. Just several days ago, I was recommending where to stay from a couple from Asia who will be joining us in this 1 week event. So really, I'm so happy that people coming first time in Vilnius because of this program. So we will have international students here, and our very warm community to welcome you. So I'm very happy that we will have this event. And Dan, thank you very much for your time, for your appearance. I know that some students say that, well, how Dan is teaching, he's teaching with love. And when I start to follow you, to notice you, and to see what you are doing, how you are teaching, I can say that what is resonate with me, that you are really authentic person, and you are living and showing your example how you can live joyfully, creatively, and yeah, that's amazing experience to learn from you. Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah, thank you. Looking forward to it. Yeah. Boy, we meet the most wonderful people through breath work. Breath work attracts just really amazing people. And that's why I'm still doing it, and I'll do it forever. Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you everyone for your time. And if anything, please contact me for any questions. And I'm more happy to share with you the recording. So thank you everyone, and hopefully to meet Dan in next month in our seminars and our workshops. Thank you very much and have a wonderful evening. See you soon. Bye bye. Thank you, Dan, very much. Thank you. Bye.